no matter what you study, there's great value in knowing the history behind it. And even just at a personal level, there's so much interest in things like Ancestry.com and doing family histories because people do want to know where they come from. But the advantage, I think, of formally studying history at university level is that you're not just collecting things in the dark and trying to put it together, but you're learning, you're getting the toolbox, if you like, or like a doctor with his little medicine bag, you're getting a virtual toolbox of history skills to know how to weigh evidence, where to find evidence, how to identify biases. And so you're not just getting raw content knowledge, but you know how to process it and you know how to then communicate it to others. And that's a transferable skill that even if your career ends up having nothing to do with history, that ability to do the research, to weigh the evidence, and then to communicate in a clear way what you've learned is valued by employers.
Well, in the Bachelor of Arts, students have to choose one minor. So perhaps if they're doing a history major, they might be interested in doing the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander minor, because I think there's a lot of synergy between the two. If you're very interested in Indigenous issues, reconciliation and those kinds of issues, it is also good to have a broader understanding of history, especially Australian history, to see where those issues fit in. So I think they complement each other there. And I guess the other thing that we offer at CQU with our history major is the relationship between teacher and student. We don't have big classes when we have online classes, so you're going to get a lot of attention from your lecturer in terms of quick feedback, checking on how you're going and those kinds of things. So you'll feel quite comfortable with the relationship with your lecturer and even with your fellow students because of the small class sizes and those kinds of things. So a new feature of the BA is the opportunity for all students to do a work placement if they choose, and for the history major student, perhaps they could do that work placement in a gallery or a museum or a library where they can use some of the skills that they learn in history to apply in those industry areas, and then they can profile that work experience in their e-portfolio later on.
There's a fascinating and growing field of study in the history of medicine, the history of science, the history of law.